Hi, I'm Dr. Kathy Bush.
And I'm Dr. Tara Peters, and we are the Leadership Doctors.
We're excited to present to you a series of very cool leaders who are going to be sharing some lessons. We're calling this series Lessons from Leaders, and today we have 1 to 2 minutes from each of them that are offered as thoughts and inspiration for you who might be also in a leadership role and working through some challenges at this unfortunate time during the pandemic. And so you will get a chance to hear from all of them on this video and then from each of them individually. And Tara's going to tell you a little bit more about how you'll hear from them individually at the end.
I'm Mike CAWANAUGH, the Executive Vice President of Max Digital. We are a Chicago-based software company that serves the automotive industry. We've been around for about 17 years, and we work with some of the largest dealership groups in the country. I have some leadership advice today that I'd love to share, and this is particularly applicable to situations like we're currently in right now. And my advice is to be transparent and communicate frequently with your team. And not just your direct reports, but everybody that is on your team. So when there's a situation like this going on and you've got a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear, you need to keep in mind as a leader that you have the most control and the most insight into the current situation, and your fear is likely magnified every time you get a little bit further from the top of the organization. So whether you have a weekly video conference right now with your folks, which is ideal so they can see your face, read your body language, they can tell that you're genuine with your message, or you have a conference call or an email, you need to communicate frequently with your team what's going on. Give them some logic into why decisions are being made that may be being made, why some things are happening that they may be confused on, and reach out to your team for feedback on what they may be confused on so that you can communicate with them about that. So my biggest advice that I'd love to stress to everybody here is be transparent and communicate frequently with your team.
Hello, my name is Sine Rowland Davis, and I am a finance director at Ernst & Young accounting firm. I've been with Ernst & Young for 5 years, but I've been in the industry for 25. And so during the coronavirus pandemic, I have a gentleman on my team whose parents are actually from Hong Kong. And so they came to the United States and they were immediately put into quarantine for 14 days. And it was quite difficult for him because he was not able to see his parents, and they're older and they were not able to see him. But he had to often kind of take food and leave it outside of the house and run errands for them. And so he had to leave his job often. And I was there for him, and I told him that was perfectly fine. We are one family. And I told him to do whatever it is because family is first. And so I think that really helped him through this time. And that's what a manager does. It's not always about making money. It's being there for your team and helping them through difficult times. And that's what a leader does. Lead from the front. Thank you.
My 3 things that I would love to share with everybody are grit, grace, and go outside. I think in these very uncommon times, reminding ourselves that we can do hard things and just a little stick-to-itness is super important. And probably a nice kick in the pants when we're all feeling so weird. And then after that, some grace, because you know what? It's just so weird and uncommon that sometimes even with a little grit, we're just not going to do what we want to do, and it's just not going to work out the way we want, and that's okay. And then the third thing would be go outside. It's just so busy right now for so many people, or so not busy, and I think both of those things can lead to a lot of being inside a lot, and that's not great. And so in a safe way, try to go outside, breathe some fresh air, whether it's on your balcony or your porch or a bike ride or a walk with the people that you live with. But just being outside, getting some fresh air would be my third thing. So thanks for asking me to participate, and hope everybody's hanging in there.
Hello. I learned a few things that allowed me to help others to cope with difficult situations and get through hard times. They are being authentic, being close to people, accepting help, being realistic about the present and optimistic about the future. Let's go one by one. Being authentic. People choose who they will follow because they believe in his or her worldviews. But first, people need to trust who they elect to be their leaders. So we have to be honest and transparent about who we are. Being close to people. A presence and visibility of a leader makes others feel that we are all in the same boat. Today, the several conferences and e-tools can help us to be present and keep the so necessary safe social distance. Accepting help. We need to let she or he who is knowledgeable about a certain subject to step up. We need to let leaders in each subject or area of expertise to flourish in situations like the one we are living today. And finally, being realistic about the present and optimistic about the future. We need to be clear about the ground we are standing right now, today. And we ought to be optimistic about the future, as we are confident that we are all doing the right things today that will take us to the future that we want for ourselves. As I mentioned before, these are real-life learnings. I'm sure that we will learn something new from our current situation. We must have the clarity that every single one of us is a leader in taking the future in our own hands.
One of my all-time favorite business books is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And the first habit that he recommends in that book I think is especially relevant in this crisis. And it's called Sharpen the Saw, which is really about taking care of your own mindset first, because you can't lead or serve anyone if your own mind is racing with anxiety or fear or frustration. So it's really about taking a step back and doing what you need to do to get your mind to a place of peace and calmness so that you're able to help people, yes, acknowledge reality, but also see how it might get better and how we might move forward in this really scary and uncertain time. And for me, sharpening the saw is really about managing the input to my mind and avoiding the anxiety-inducing editorials and other sources of information, and instead staying really focused on getting my facts from the source, like the CDC, the World Health Organization, the NIH, and my local health resources in Chicago. And also staying very, very focused on what I can control, which is really the same for all of us. It is your thoughts and your actions in this exact moment, and just taking a step at a time and a day at a time. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. Hang in there.
Hello everyone, James Hansen here with Coulter Hospitality checking in. I just wanted to share with you a little bit about what we're doing as an organization to really deal with and combat some of this challenges we face with COVID-19 and the impending fallout from the coronavirus. So working in the hotel industry, as you can imagine, we were some of the hardest hit sectors of business from the get-go, really since late January. When we first started to learn about this, and then subsequent to that mid-March when our hotel occupancies were very strong and all of a sudden took a pretty drastic dip. A lot of employees had to be furloughed or laid off, and so we're trying to do things as from a leadership perspective as the senior leaders within our organization to try to combat some of this fallout, to try to keep sort of a positive spin or outtake on the outlook on when they will turn around, and what we can do between now and that time period to keep a sort of a positive silver lining outlook, if you will. So a couple of things. We have an HR team that's been really on the forefront of getting a positive message out there. We're doing small vignette or recordings of senior leadership, myself included, of messages, positive messages that we could send out to our team, our current employees, and those that were furloughed. We're sending them out via links and text messages, just as a weekly reminder of them that, hey, there is some silver lining. We're gonna come back, and we're gonna come back even stronger. Second thing is we have a benefits administrator that we use, so we've been also putting that similar message out through text messages, through their logins and emails, that we can kind of get the verbiage out there that we're going to turn this around, and when it does, we want you back on the team for those that are currently not employed with us, And for those that are, that they have something to look forward to, a little silver lining. So getting that message of positivity out there for us has been really key, because as we know, after a downturn, the travel industry as a whole is one that can rebound and rebound quickly. So when that happens, we're looking forward to having our team members back on as soon as possible, and we can help that in the process by simply getting a positive message out to them as much as possible, and keeping on the positive side of things, because we know things are going to turn around. So hope everyone is doing well, staying safe and staying healthy, and look forward to seeing you all traveling soon. Take care.
Hello, Dr. Jatan Dorsey here, and I hope that this message finds you well. With 20 years experience in corporate, nearly half of those in a leadership capacity, in addition to an average of 6 to 7 years as an entrepreneur, I know that my combined experiences have prepared me for such a time as this. And what time is this? We are going through a crisis, right? And the thing that I want to highlight before I even jump into what I'm doing as a leader during the crisis is the fact that what got you here will not get you there. So in other words, those things that we've done that were effective and efficient prior to the crisis may not be the same. They may not be effective nor efficient during the crisis. And so with that being said, some of the things that I've done as a leader is to first adapt to the environment, adapt to the situation, which meant that some employees had to work from home, right? And then that means that we have to adjust to technology. How can we continue to meet? How can we continue to function as normal as possible, considering the sign of the times? And then second is to remain flexible, or even to enhance flexibility, just because with staff working from home, there are different situations, different environments that they're working in. They may have to do homeschooling and managing their children, different things of that sort. So it was definitely key for me to support my team in being flexible to ensure that they can continue to be effective and efficient and productive in their current roles. And then finally, also agility, ensuring that whatever it is that we do, we can quickly and easily pivot into those places to ensure that our business continues to move, continues to grow, and continues to do those things that we are expected to do and responsible to do. So with that, I hope that this helps you from a leadership perspective. Again, what I've implemented is and or reinforced would include adaptability, flexibility, and agility. I hope that this has been some information that you can either be reminded of or information that is new to you that you can quickly implement as a leader in your corporation and or in your businesses. Thank you.
Hi, this is Michael Spiegel with a few words of encouragement. Some of the things that we're doing around here to stay connected is we're encouraging our employees to join a video log that we have going internally. That way, while working from home, we can all stay connected face to face. Our leadership has also set up an employee emergency fund. In these times where a lot of people are furloughed and we've had to make some staff reductions, we want to make sure that employees still have the resources necessary to complete their day-to-day activities. The last thing that we're doing is we're encouraging all of our current staff to reach out to our furloughed employees, who are still a very viable and important part of our team, to make sure that everybody feels connected. Finally, the message that I would give to everybody is empathy. We have a lot of employees that need desperately to come to work to make paychecks, and we have employees that feel very unsafe out in the general public. We're encouraging all of our employees to meet each other right where they're at. It's okay if you don't feel safe coming in, and it's okay if you need to work hard to make a paycheck. Right now, more than ever, we need to be encouraging and help each other out. Those are our words of encouragement and some of the things we have going on around here. Look forward to hearing from everybody else and really appreciate it.
So thanks for viewing, and we hope that you enjoyed those words of inspiration from each of the leaders. And as Kathy mentioned earlier, we have full interviews from each of the leaders where they talk in more detail and share insights about the pandemic. So we want you to go to our website, theleadershipdoctors.com, for more details, because we're releasing these videos during the month of April. And we know that there's going to be a lesson and some words of insight that you'll be able to use. Thanks for tuning in.